you stand up, your right hand is free to shake the interviewer's hand. And while you're sitting in the interview, you want to sit straight up and lean forward slightly to indicate interest. Handshake and eye contact is also very important. The handshake would be the only physical contact you make with your interviewer, so and also it makes for a good first impression, so you don't want to mess it up. You don't want to go for a too bone crushing handshake or too soft. Just a nice firm handshake and a smile. Some of the interviewing questions I would ask for this candidate would be, tell me about a time you effectively worked under pressure. Since they're an accounting manager, it would be good to get an idea of how they've handled pressure in the past and how they would handle it in the future. Another interview question I would ask would be, tell me about a time you've made a mistake and how you handled it. Everyone makes mistakes from time to time, and this would give me a good response of how they would handle a situation if they made it in our company. And so the next interview question I would ask them would be, tell me about a time you've had to deal with a difficult situation with a coworker. Since they're an accounting manager, they will have a couple people working under them, so it would be nice to know how they would handle a situation if it came about. Next interview question I would ask would be, have you ever had success in motivating coworkers? So since they're an accounting manager, they will have several subordinates that they would need to push out projects for deadlines and meet the time requirement. So you would want to take interview notes during an interview and leave a couple spaces in between questions for each person's response, and also your observations and impressions of the person's answer how they respond to it. So while taking good interview notes is important, you also need to engage in a conversation and maintain eye contact with the applicant. To help you save time, you can use acronyms and abbreviations, but just make sure you are able to read it and go back to it and understand it later. If I conducted an interview, I would conduct a structured interview, so I can ask a variety of questions to get a variety of different answers to make sure someone is qualified enough for the job. My interview at Wawa, it was they asked me many situational questions, such as how well do you work under pressure, and which was important because they need to know how well you can handle a busy store and if you will perform adequately. And that's our presentation. Do you guys have any questions for us? No?